Hello everybody, how are you today? Woohoo! Just trying to get this so where I can see comments that are coming in. Let me know where you're tuning in from. I would love to know. It's Sharon here from the blog I Restore Stuff, and you can visit me there on irestorestuff.com or on my page, my Facebook page, Instagram, or any of the others at I Restore Stuff. That's all you have to do. So we're here on Essential Stencils page today, ready for another DIY live. So just let me know where you're watching from, and I'll see if I can follow the comments here. Or on my phone, might be easier. We are going to be doing a Christmas craft today, and as you can see, I have put up my Christmas tree in the background already. We only did that last night. So there we are, I can see them now. I was wondering why they weren't appearing. Sometimes the live doesn't show up for people until a couple of minutes. We've got a little delay, so thank you. Elisa from Florida is here. Jennifer is here. Eloise from Leachfield, Kentucky. Is that how you say it? Louisiana's here. Cynthia, Jennifer. So excited to be here tonight. All right, so we're doing a Christmas craft today, and I don't know where you guys are all at. Let me know. Are you still on Thanksgiving mode, fall decor, or have you started your Christmas decorating yet? Or are you waiting until after Thanksgiving? Some people like to just decorate for Christmas early. That's me, but then again, we don't have Thanksgiving in Australia like you do at the end of November. So, oh, Cindy says it's cold and chilly in Texas. Woo! All right, so I'm using this stencil set today. Now, anything that I'm using today, I usually have the link for it right there in the description of the live. So if you click on the link on the description, even after the live's finished, whenever, you can click on that. And Essential Stencil will sometimes put out links to our stencils that we're using in the pinned comment. So you can always click on that there. Now, don't forget that anything that you order using my code I Restore Stuff, you get 10% off of Essential Stencil's site. That includes all their brushes, all of their the transfers, the new transfers. If you've seen those, I used one of those last week. Let's see. Cheryl's doing Christmas crafts now. All right, yeah. See, some people who crafting to sell items or crafting to gift them, you kind of need to get ahead to get your stash organized, don't you? So there we go. We are doing this one today. It's the Country Christmas, I think it's called. Yes, Country Christmas collection. And we've got the Have Yourself a Country Christmas sign with also the gorgeous tractor on the back with the Christmas tree. So I'm going to be doing mostly the tractor on the back with the Christmas tree today, which will be fun. But I also wanted to mention, and I may get time to do that while something's drying here, is the Stencil of the Month Club set, which Amanda featured this week. She introduced that to you all. So if you are not in the Stencil of the Month Club, I would encourage you to check out their beautiful Christmas stencil set, which is coming right now. And here is the Stencil of the Month Club set, which has all these gorgeous baking related stencils. It's a lot of fun. I've got something drying right here, so I'm just going to show you this really quickly. Mrs. Claus's Cooking Co. That is cute. And Santa Stop Here, we have cookies. And then there's the cute signs here. Official Cookie Tester. You may not be able to see this. Baking Spirits Bright. Baked with Love, Christmas Calories Don't Count. All these fun signs, plus a huge gingerbread house and the little gingerbread man and lady. Isn't that the cutest? So I can imagine so many fun things that you will be able to do with that. Hi Elizabeth, you catching the live from Massachusetts? Awesome. Texas is here, South Dakota's here. We're all stencil up, ready for Christmas, Cynthia says. Holiday vendor events coming up. Yes, that's the thing. So we need to get crafting on the Christmas goodies. So if you're not in the Stencil of the Month Club already, highly recommend that. Oh, and the add-on, let me show you the add-on if you haven't seen that already, is this gorgeous, you know that Essential Stencil has done a few of these for their stencil add-ons, and I don't know if we've got any on the main Essential Stencil side. It might be in just the club, but some months they've done the different seasonal ones of these gorgeous, lots of words all about Christmas there. And so you can even take parts of these. You know, I've done that with other stencil sets before. Take parts of that and use that. You could just use the Merry Christmas on there. Look at that buffalo check on the Merry Christmas sign. So you could, you know, tape off the rest. I wouldn't advise cutting this one because cutting would get so close to the edges. Just tape it off or use a cardstock and cover over that. But there's a lot of fun ideas that you can use with that. That's the add-on, and the main stencil sets for every Stencil of the Month Club is usually 3 of this size stencil. So we've got 1, 2, and 3 sets all come every month. So November's is this Christmas one. So get in quick. You can still get that and use my code IRestoreStuff to get 50% off your first month of the Stencil Club. So that's a lot of fun, a lot of people joining in on that. So if I get time in a minute, I might just do a quick tea towel because that would be a fun gift to do some of these baking signs with. All right, today I'm going to be using some canvases, and these are just 8x10s, cute little 8x10s, and I've done a bit of a background, but I am going to do a second coat so I can show you how I blended that bottom. So you can see I'm going to put the tractor across the 2 signs there. Let me just point that down to where you are. I'll have to turn this around so we can make it look the right way. Yeah, the add-on is very cute, isn't it? Who's that? Lisa said. Let me just point this camera down for a minute so you can see what I'm doing. Okay, here's our tractor and the Christmas tree on the back of it. That's what we'll be working on. And here's our background that we'll be using. So there's just 2 canvases. I've done 1 coat, but you can see that that green is quite translucent. The blue might be okay. So I'm just using some acrylic paints from one of them. This one's from the Artisan brand, which I stock here in Australia. It's an Australian brand, so you can't get that in the USA. But the green I've used is Pressed Fern by Fusion Mineral Paint. And I do have some of that in stock. I mean, I don't. I have it in stock here in Australia. But you can find that in my Amazon shop link if you know what that is. I've posted that here before, but you can find that on my website, irestorestuff.com. So we're just going to paint the background for our truck. And while that's drying, I might be able to do my little tea towel idea, which will be a lot of fun. So I was asking before, if you've just joined me, I was just asking who has started on their Christmas crafting, or are you still creating Thanksgiving ideas or fall decorating? I'd love to know what you're up to. Let's see, pop my glasses on so I can actually see the comments here as I go. Yes, Brenda's looking forward to getting the Christmas stencils. That's going to be very exciting. And yes, I love the can you put the website for the stencil sets? Yes, Johnson, I have put that in the link of the description of the live. And so Essential Stencil will put the Christmas, Country Christmas stencil is the one. So it's essentialstencil.com is the website. Use my code IRestoreStuff at the checkout. And for anything on their site, they've got a really handy search bar. So if you just typed in the search bar, Country Christmas, it would come up with this stencil. Now I did do the edges on the first coat, but I'll leave those for now and I'll touch them up when I've finished the entire stencil set at the end of my live today. Don't need to bore you with doing the edges. And now, so that's a deep dark navy blue. I just pictured this truck driving last minute to grab a Christmas tree, a live Christmas tree. Does anyone else have live trees, or do you have a fake tree? Faux tree, if we want to be posh about it. All right, just touching up the green down the bottom there. Now, let's see if I can zoom you in a little bit. Zooming in. So for the blending part on the bottom, I'll go with the green just down at the base here first. Oop, might need a little bit more on my brush. So going along the bottom there, and then we're just feathering the edge up next to that navy blue to just blend that in. Really easy. So you may get a tinge of blue on this edge of the brush, the edge that the blue's next to, but it feathers it nicely. Oop, light's shining there. So it's not a hard line there, it's just blending in. Now I've got plenty on my brush to do this side as well. Jennifer says, I've been a Stencil of the Month Club member for a year now. You won't regret it. Yes, so true. Yeah, use my code IRestoreStuff. Get 50% off your first month in the Stencil Club. Lots of great, there we go, into the blue. So we're blending that again now. Sorry, probably was off the camera shot there. Blending that next to the blue. So not sure if you can see that. It'll dry fairly quickly, but I will give it a bit of drying help using my hairdryer over there. But first of all, I think I'll just do a quick stencil on a tea towel of one of those Stencil of the Month Club sets. Okay, so that's going to be our background for our tractor, and I may even see if I can fit some wording like Country Christmas on the top of this sign. Don't want it to look too squishy, but I want to give it a go. All right, so moving this, set it aside for a minute. And if you missed the fact, here's our Stencil of the Month Club. Just thought it'd be fun to do a quick tea towel. And these are just cotton linen tea towels that you can, so if I put it on, say, half of that tea towel, I want to put it on the half that, so this has got a little hook to hang it. So I want to put it on the other side because you would normally hang from this way. Or if you're hanging it over, say, an oven railing or something like that, you'd be hanging it here. So you want your design to go on that front bit there. So that's where I'm going to put that. So you said you just got an artificial tree this year. How many people are using that? I get real trees. Like, I would love that to happen here, but we just don't have the trees, the real trees like you guys do in the USA. If you can't already tell, I'm from Australia. Okay, so I'm going to use one of these fun signs. I think any of these, like, can you imagine that? Mrs. Claus's Cookie Co. on a tea towel. These would make great Christmas gift ideas for teachers or, you know, grandparents that you can give them before the Christmas date. Because, I don't know, maybe our school year finishes quite early before Christmas because it's our summer holidays. And a lot of you would go, what? I can't imagine a summer Christmas. Yep, it is hot and sweaty over here in Australia at Christmas time. Okay, I'm using Essential Stencil brushes, which are really great for stenciling, obviously. They've got a nice flat end to the bristles, and they are round, so they work really well for getting the paint right down in there, but we need to offload that onto something that is going to, and luckily I've got cardboard laid down on my dining table here, so that I can offload that. So we want to make sure that's clean. And I'm offloading, can you see that off to the side there? Maybe just a little, might have to zoom out just a fraction. Yep. And offloading that as much as I can on the brush. Baking Spirits Bright, isn't that cute? All right, so I'm going to hold it down. You could use some painter's tape if you wanted to, but this is just going to be super quick. So I'm just sort of eyeballing this to make sure this is going to be the center of the tea towel. It's just a cotton, linen, farmhousey style tea towel with the grain stripes going down the center there. I've offloaded as much paint as I can from the brush. So that is so that we don't get bleed through underneath the stencil. And so now I'm just doing a swirling method to swirl the paint. And the reason it doesn't get under and bleed and make fuzzy edges is because we've offloaded a lot of that. Now, because I've offloaded a lot, I'm not getting very far because it's absorbing into the tea towel fabric. But let me get a bit more paint on my brush. Whoop. It's better to have quite thin layers, and like holding my hand down on that really firmly. Nice thin layers so that we don't have bleeding underneath the stencil. we get a nice solid look. You can always go over it with a second coat if you didn't think it was solid enough. It's working quite well there. Offloading that brush again. Little swirly motions. You can stipple it if you like. Sometimes I do a bit of both. You can kind of see through to the fabric to see, is it getting all the paint? Is it covering all of the fabric? So it depends on the fabric. But cotton and linen tea towels are a great fabric to stencil on because usually the weave is quite close together. It's tight weave. Maggie's asking what's this set called. This is the Stencil of the Month Club set. So if you have not joined the Stencil of the Month Club, you can join for 50% off your first month. And this is the November set, and this will be delivered to you very soon. And you get all three of this size stencil that all coordinate together with this and with the gingerbread house and the little gingerbread man and the gingerbread lady. And so that all comes together in one set to you if you order the Stencil of the Month Club for November. And then there's the add-on, which is another whole stencil sheet full of Christmas words and fun designs of fonts and all sorts of things on that set. All right, so that's the super quick and easy gift idea using the Stencil of the Month Club set. I think I'll do a couple of these. I like that baking theme. There you go, Baking Spirit Sprite. Now you could, if you wanted to, add a little gingerbread man down here, little lady here. You could add those to the sides. Anyway, I thought that was a fun idea. There you go. Get the Stencil of the Month Club set, and you can, oh yes, you can wash it. I say this when I often, hang on, I'm just going to bring my canvases back over that we're working on today. Yes, when I'm doing stenciling on fabric, I always set it before I wash it. So I always just set it with either a hot iron, you could use a hot hairdryer, you could throw it in the dryer for 15 minutes or something. All right, I am going to be right here just drying my piece. We've got the Christmas tree in the background now. Just going to dry this because I can see that it's quite wet and we need to be painting on this in just a minute. So I'm going to be doing the Country Christmas stencil set, which I was showing you earlier. Let me just see if there's any questions in the comments. Yes, the tea towels that I used, I got from Amazon, and you can order them. You can just click on my Amazon link, which is on my website, irestorestuff.com, or just type it in the comments that you'd like my Amazon link, and I'll get back to you after the live. Because I always go through and I like to read your comments and make sure I've answered any questions too, because I often don't see them. What types of paint do you use for the tea towels? I'm just using an acrylic based paint. It's a furniture paint actually, but you can get specific fabric paints from your craft stores. But I do like the furniture paints because they're really thick, they're not runny or anything, so they do a good job. And I've stenciled so many different fabric things over the years that have lasted for several washes, even t-shirts, and they've lasted several washes. The top set, yes, that's called Country Christmas, correct. And that's the link is in the live description up the top. So let me just grab someone had asked for that Amazon store link, and I can post that in now if I can find your comment. Amazon link, there we go. Sue, thank you for asking. Let me just pop that in there. It'll come through as coming from Essential Stencil, but that's that there. And yes, Essential Stencil has the link for that Country Christmas stencil that we'll be using. Oh, I've got to put my camera back down so you can see what we're doing. Here we are. So we've got our background ready for our truck. Grass, sky, and I will touch up those edges that you can see I haven't quite finished touching up. See, that's how the green was with one coat. 2 coats, it really just solidifies that look, and you can see the blending there of the blue and the green together. So let's see if we can even get closer, and I can probably just lean over a bit. I have to wash my stencil later. So this is the idea. So this is 8 by 10 canvases. And I want to put my truck on here like so. I can't remember which way I had it going. Yeah. I'm doing this upside down for you guys. All right, so there it is there. We might try and use some different colours. Oh, thank you, Mary. Some lovely comments there. You have people vouching for Essential Stencil's quality. They're Stencil of the Month Club. They really are a lovely company to purchase from. So any of these stencils, you can use my code IRestoreStuff and get your 10% off. Oops, I didn't put that brush. I usually put them in either in a wet cloth or in a plastic bag. So I'll just do that because otherwise it'll dry out. So I've got a wet, damp cloth here that I can do that with. So what I'm going to do is put my truck over these two boards, have a little set going, and you would just put them on the wall together or hang them up together. So I'm moving the truck a little bit this way. I didn't want to just, and then I'll move this stencil over this way to do this one, okay? So we're going to have black tires down here, but what I'm thinking is it may have to have a little bit of a shadow effect of some kind, perhaps white, to just make those edges stand out. So what I might do is a bit of a background of white to create that shadow and then do the darker colours on top. Otherwise, because I've got a dark green, a dark blue in the background, those black tires won't stand out very well. So sometimes it helps to have a bit of a greyish or a whitish shadow in the background to make it all pop. So let's work on that for a little bit. We've got another stencil, Essential Stencil brush here. And it doesn't have to be a lot, the shadow, but I would like to do that just to make it really pop. Okay, so I'm moving my truck as far as I can to this side, and I want to move it down as far as I can too. And the shadow is going to be on the lower side of this angle. So when I do the shifting, I'll shift it slightly up and across, so it's at a little bit of an angle. Offloading my brush here. And so the main parts that I want to do white are those sides. Also, I've got these gorgeous snowflakes here, and I'm just going to go ahead and do those while we're at it. But the main angle I want to get this white on is that lower edge. So you don't have to get it up here because we're not going to be, that's going to be covered. So again, I'm just going to dip my brush in more times than less because I'm offloading that, and I'm going to keep offloading it. So let's do a couple of these snowflakes and see, these might have to, the snowflakes might have to be done over again because the white on dark, you may need a couple of coats. This snowflake's right off the edge. Oh, we'll still do that one. Okay, so now continuing with my shadowing idea, and I haven't taped this down, mainly because I just dried that paint. I'm not going to tape it. All right, so more shadowing. Focusing on these lower edges and this edge. Now, I could have put a book behind here because I can feel the canvas sagging a little. Okay, just putting it on the left. Oh, no, sorry, it's your right side. I'm working upside down, so here I am thinking about the left side, but it's your right side. So just putting some touches, and it'll all will be revealed how this will work. It's working in my head, guys. So the lower sides, and the right side is what I'm working on for the shadowing. And even on this little tractor exhaust, I think that's what you call it. I'm not a tractor person, I don't know these things. Okay, so that's my shadowing on this side. Whoops, we've had that shift a little bit. I'm going to leave this tractor until I can fully work on that side because that's going to be shifted across. All right, so that's my shadow. And now what I want to do is shift that up and slightly to the left. So I hope you can see that there. I'm going to maybe zoom that in slightly again so you can hopefully see that a bit better. Okay. So remember, we're not working on this side, just this side. So you can see that shadowing there. Oh, sorry, it's gone a bit blurry. There we go. See how I just kind of shadowed just on those edges of all of the stencil pieces. Now here's how we move it up, and we'll be doing the different colours. So I want to do a red tractor, dark tyres. Let's see how we can go with that. Black tyres, we'll work on that using our jet colour. So, you know, when I normally do shadowing, for those of you who've watched my lives before, I do normally colour the whole stencil white, but this time I'm just going for those lower edges, and you can see that that's probably all that you'll necessarily have to do. So I didn't actually wipe the white paint off those areas, which, I don't know, could be a problem if the white paint drips into it, but we'll just see. We'll just go with it. Okay, so let's say that I've got that stencil exactly where I did the shadows. This is where I'm going to shift it up slightly and across slightly. And that's where I'm going to do my tyres. Before I do my tyres, I will just do a little light tape. Now, if I don't want my tape to be too sticky, this is just painter's tape. If I don't want it to be super tacky, what I'll do is I'll, put it down on a surface, or even on the clothing that you're wearing, just to take away some of that tackiness, because I don't want it to be too stuck down and tear off paint or anything like that. Okay, I'm just going to grab a piece of cardstock that I had here before. I'm just going to use this to sort of tape off my tractor because I want that to be red. So here I go with the tyres, black tyres. Now I'll work on this side because when I move around, I've got to move this cardstock around here. I don't want to be getting, although the red will go over the black, so it doesn't matter if I get some on there. But here's where I want to cover up the parts that I don't want to stencil on because I'm doing them a different colour. Okay, so let's have a little look at that. Oh, yep, that's working. Gave myself a sneak peek. All right, now just covering up this section as we work on here. And I'm going to have to get some more black. Yeah, that's okay, Kathy. Yeah, she says, thanks for sharing this idea. Never thought to just shadow part of it. Yeah, so you don't have to shadow the whole thing because then you can just do, a little bit less paint. But you've just kind of got to think about where it is that you're shadowing to and from, kind of thing. So just being very careful not to get those edges where I'm going to paint the tractor red, although like I said before, the red can cover over the black, I think. Now the pigment in our red paint, the red paint I'm using, can sometimes be a little bit translucent, so I may need a couple of coats of that. And just doing a bit of a pounce and swirl to get this black on, because the canvas is low and the stencil is sort of lifting up, so I want to just get on those edges and pounce and wriggle it a bit. Pounce and wriggle the brush. Okay, so that's the black tyres. Let me just give you a little peek. Now I imagine the exhaust might be black too, instead of red. Let's do that. hang on, hold the horses. I'm going to do this part too. A bit more black. Being careful not to colour my snowflakes black because I want those to stay white, and I will have to probably go over those because they're a little bit light in colour. There we go, let's see how that worked out. Hopefully, there we go, so you can see some tractor tyres that now have a little bit of a, whoop, got to go in focus there, a pop of that white shadow underneath. But as we do more of the tractor, it will all come together. Yes, so I am using the Essential Stencil brushes. Yeah, Essential Stencil, if you can put a link, someone was asking about the link for the brushes in there. But if you simply go to the Essential Stencil site, essentialstencil.com, type in their search bar, brushes, and they will come up for you. Okay, so here's the tractor. Remember, we're going for exactly where I put the black on the tyres. I'm going to line that up so we're putting it down exactly where it was. I just lifted it up for a little bit of a peek to see how that shadowing effect was working, and it's working great. So now I'm going to go on with my red for the rest of the tractor, and I'm popping that black brush just in a bit of a wet cloth here so that it doesn't dry out the brush, because we might need to use it over here on these tyres. All right. Here we go, we've got some red. Now this is the colour Cranberry from Fusion Mineral Paint. Oh, I did have this open before. Now it's being really tight. I just might have to... Now my red paint is gonna stick. Oh guys, I just have to grab one of those, you know, those rubber mats. See if that'll help me. Oh my goodness. Okay, here's a hint for you, and you can't see me here, but I'm actually banging the pot, slamming it face down on the ground. There we go, that works every time. So if you can't open a pot because the paint has stuck it together, slam it top down. I won't tip it because I've just loosened the lid. Slam it top down flat on a surface, like that, and bang it really hard, and that actually just loosens it enough to where you can twist the lid open. But I have heard of people having a little accident with that and paint splattering everywhere. So, I don't know, do it at your own risk. Okay, just using another brush now to do the red. So this is the colour Cranberry from Fusion. Oh, I'm not sure, Maggie, if the brushes are still on sale. They were last time, weren't they? So just have to have a peek. And Essential Stencil has just put the link for the brushes right there. If you can't find them, there's the link. And yes, you can use my code iRestoreStuff and get you 10% off for those too. All right, so offloading this brush. Here, let's do it down here so you can see. Offloading all that red Cranberry. It's like a nice rusty, almost like a barn red, isn't it? Don't you think? So we've got just some on the ends of the bristles. It's all worked into the bristles now, so you can see there's no thick paint on the end of that. And now I'm going to use this cardstock again so that we don't get the paint on the area of the tyres. Let's work on this section right here. Oops. Got my sound going on there. Yes, Cranberry is a beautiful colour. Oop. Working around there on the edges. But I'm covering up the tyre because I don't want the red to go on the tyres. I don't want the red to go on my snowflake either. Oh, I think we lifted. Did we lift? And then put my cardstock right along the edge there so that it doesn't get that exhaust. And getting a bit more paint. Oh, I got way too much paint on the brush there. We'll have to offload a bit more. But we do have a lot of middle surface here to load. You can see my stencil's lifting a bit there. And yeah, this red might need a little extra coating on it. Oh, we can do all of this up here, can't we? very translucent kind of a red, so I might need a couple of coats. It's going to look great. And I should have got something to put underneath here. I don't think this is quite thick enough. Like a book or something else to poke up in here. Now again, we've got to cover our tires. And that white shadowing should show up nicely down there. Oops, I've shifted it again. I should have some more tape down on the other end. There it is. So once again, just choosing a really tiny bit, putting it on here so it doesn't have so much tacky stickiness, and it's just enough to hold it down on that side. Okay, ready to grab my truck. Whoop, could have a little bit of red on my tyre there. Let's see if we can go this way. Oh, actually, the section above the tyre I need to do also. So I might let that dry and then I'll have to go over that with another coat. So it's just a matter of manoeuvring your cardstock around to just get right, because it's in a circular way. It has bends and corners, so we just keep going around until we get to the end. I think I did it. Okay, so here's our black. Trying to get more in the center there. But I will go over that probably with a second coat. I can do that later. But this will give you a great idea of how that works. We can, oh, let's see how that turned out. There we go. So now the tractor pops a little bit more because of that white shadowing that we did on that one edge. We've got our snowflakes there. So let's go over to this side. See if we can do a little bit more while we've got the red out. So I'm just lining this up with this tractor. Oh, we have to do our shadows first though, don't we? Okay, so just going to get that in line with the bottom. Tape that down around about there. I do have to do the white shadow first. So let's do that. Put our red in the cloth. We've got our white here ready. And so once again, if you missed the beginning of the live, I showed you how to do this. So stay tuned. And also don't forget prizes, guys. We give away prizes here on the Essential Stencil page to 3 lucky winners at the end of our live. Yes, I saw that. Carol's mentioned another ambassador, and I saw Amanda do that. So it's probably Amanda she's talking about. It says to spray some water on the canvas, and she just sprayed it onto the back. I saw how she did that, and heat it with a blow dryer, and that should stiffen the canvas. Correct. And I thought that because I blow dried the paint that was on the front of it, I thought that might stiffen the canvas as well a little bit, but it's still sort of, you know, probably because I'm pushing on it, it's causing a little bit of a sway in the canvas. Okay, I'm just going to offload my white paint again. Yes, it is a really cute, and you can do this all on one whole canvas if you wanted to, or a board, a sign board. You don't have to do it on 2 canvases. I just love the fun idea of having 2 signs. You can separate them slightly and then hang them on the wall. Okay, so with our shadowing, if you missed the first part, what I did was I just used the shadowing white. I absolutely did my snowflakes. I think that's what those little round circles are. Falling snow. And I just did the shadowing parts on the lower sections and on the rights. Sorry, yeah, you're right. On the right side, because that's where I'll be shifting it. And so for this one, I kind of need a little bit of a shadow there. The lower section, anywhere it's lower. And I'm just getting on the edges, really. Don't need to do the middle parts of them. and then on the right hand side, because I'll be shifting the stencil slightly. Don't know if it will matter in those sections, but we'll just do that anyway. See, on this edge here. Now the tree, probably the same thing. The tree, we could have some snow on there. I think it looks like snow there. Oh, there's a snowflake. Got to get those. Oop, that's a snowflake from the other stencil. Should not have done that one. Okay, that was on accident. Okay, shadowing down here on the lower side, and I'm not quite sure how this is going to work out. If you know my lives, I tend to experiment on the fly. So we'll just see how that works, doing this lower edge here. It might just make a difference when I'm doing that green. Oh, and the edges, yeah, I forgot about that. So there's these edges along here. So this is almost ending up getting totally stenciled, but I just want to show that little bit of shadowing. And I don't have a full coverage of this white going down, just enough to make it look like a difference. You want to create that difference between the dark blue and the green that's going to go on for the tree. Okay, so that's the white using my stencil brush. So now we just have that little shadowy area, and I'm going to do that. You can see that there. Shift it now slightly, up and across, so it's similar to our shadow on our other side where the other tractor is. Oop. There we go. Placing my tape down, so that's keeping it firm. I can go on with the black. Let's just do those tires again first. Where is that one? Here we go. Using a little bit of the brush there. Kathleen says, going to have to order these stencils for her nephew. Yes, they would love the truck, wouldn't they? Okay, again, I've got this little patch over here. I'm not sure, we're not over there, but this is my black section here on the cardboard, so I'm just going to go ahead and continue with that. Offloading the brush as much as I can. Then I'm going to go over this with on the tires to make sure I'm not getting that on the truck area that I'm going to paint red. And being careful not to stencil my snowflake either. Might have to go over that with another coat. I can see a little bit of the white shadowing underneath my stenciling here. But you can always go over this with two coats, but you will get a really good idea just by me doing this on here to show you when it's all finished. And I'm thinking about putting, so the other stencil that I've got back here that it comes with in this set is a beautiful sign with some grain sack stripes on it. You might be able to see it slightly in the picture here if I bring it down. Have yourself a country Christmas is the words. So I'm thinking of what words might fit on the top of here once I'm finished. So we'll see what might fit. Might have to get a bit more black on there. Offloading. And here we go again, making sure I don't hit the snowflake. Trying my best. Okay, coming around. Moving the card around so that we don't get that where I'm going to be painting red. If you missed earlier, I was telling everyone, you might be able to see when I lift the camera up in a minute, I've got my Christmas tree up in the background. So if you have been following me for a long time, you know that we moved house, we're in a rental house, and I was really worried how we were going to actually fit the Christmas tree because we're downsized enormously. We're wondering how we're going to fit the Christmas tree in our house, but we made it. Okay, that's looking great. I won't move it. That's the only black we need on the tyres. Now I'm going to do that red for the trailer of the tractor trailer. Where's that? Here's my little red offloading patch from down here. Let's see if I can get some more on there. On the brush, swirling it, brushing it off. And then our cardstock will help us. Oh, we need another bit for where the tree is too. This is quite a large brush that I chose to do this, so we'll work in sections, coming around this side so I don't get it on the tree. And being careful not to get that on the tractor at the same time. Almost need two. I could tear it in half and do two cardstocks either side. I'll just try my best not to get it on the tyre. Get it on this side. Okay, I can move that across to the tyre side. Essential Stencil says we expect to start shipping next week. Woohoo! Can't remember what that was for. But someone must have asked the question, so they've answered. Maybe that's for the Christmas things. Okay. Something is shifted here. You can see it ever so slightly. Maybe. Oh no, that's just the... It's okay, that was the shadowing. I've confused myself. There we go. Back on track. We've got this. Okay, moving that tyres covered up. Yes, so we got the Christmas tree out. We got it up, and we only have one child left of 4 at home, and she is finishing year 12, senior year. She's finished all her last exams. See, our school year here in Australia finishes end of November, and then we have summer break. And so she has just about graduated. Ladies and gentlemen, I cannot tell you how excited I am. We've graduated 4 kids, and we're done. Whew. Such a good feeling. Anyone else? So she's finished all the major exams, and graduation is in a couple of weeks' time, and they have a formal, which is kind of like your senior prom, I guess. Anyway, all that to say, I was trying to convince her that we just needed to buy another tree and just make it like a tall, skinny tree that would easily fit in our limited space. But she insisted we get the bigger tree out. And so we ended up making it work, which I'm glad. All right, so I've got most of that red done. As I said, I can add to that later on. And we'll pop that in the cloth. Now I need, green for the tree, so I'll need a new brush. And put my black lid back on. Okay, it's working, guys. Get another brush here, another Essential Stencil brush, and yes, the brushes you can get the brushes at the same link, essentialstencil.com, and use my code IRestoreStuff to get your 10% off. Okay, the tree. Now we will add some snow to the tree. I'll just have to see what that looks like first before I add some snow. I guess that's snow up the top here. And here, I see what's going on, guys. I think that's the snow bit. We'll do this bit green. And then we'll go over the snow parts in a minute when I can figure out. I'm guessing the snow would mainly be on this edge, but you know, you could just kind of sprinkle snow at the end, right? I've done that on another live the other week, if you saw that one. Thank you, Tita. Yeah, she says, congratulations. Graduation of the last is a big deal. It is. I added up 20 years of school. We've done. And I say we because, as any parents who have got school children know, it's a bit of an effort on the parents' part too to even understand the work that they're doing. My goodness. Which I kind of, by about 8th, 9th grade, I think that they're pretty well on their way to independent learning, but in most cases, I'm saying, but it was also beyond me at that stage. Seriously, like, hang on, I didn't learn this stuff in senior, and you're learning this in grade 9, 10 or something. I'll just stick to my craft. All right, I think I'm going over all of the snow parts that I said I would do snow. I might have to do a quick dry and then do some snow on top. But I think this is going to work out great, and then we'll put some words on. We could even do the snow after we've got our words on, All right. So we've done our shadowing earlier. If you missed that, don't forget to look back. You can always catch the replay. If you do watch the replay, comment the word replay in the comments, and you can have a chance at winning another prize in the 24 hours after the live goes live. Okay, so I think what's happening is those middle parts are meant to be the snow in the tree, which I haven't done. So we can do that after, but here you can see that shadowing really is effective in making that whole tractor thing and the tree, everything pop like 3D. That's cool. I like the way that turned out. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is use this, just making sure that's drying. I may go over that and just kind of add a little bit of snow to the tree afterwards. I have to have a little think about that, see how to make that a little bit more snowy. Might have to get a tiny white brush and just re-go over some of those, the little squiggly lines here. So here's where I'm talking about, these little squiggly lines at the end of the tree. That would be snow, and possibly even these parts, which are now navy because that's the background. You can just make the tree snow. Okay, this is the Have Yourself a Country Christmas. This is the other side of the stencil. And I thought I'd just see if I could fit even just Country Christmas across here, or a Country Christmas. So maybe just Country Christmas would be fine. And I'll put country out here. Might do that white so it stands out nice and pretty. I want to get the edge of that nicely. Now it may go over some snowflakes, but that's okay. That's all right. There's our other one. And we're not going to do the word Christmas. I have to be careful not to do that. So where's my cardstock? I'm just going to put that there to remind myself. Although I may need a bit more tape for down there. On this, because the Y is a little bit close to those grain sack bits, and the C could be close to this here, but we'll see. Oh, I'm doing a lot of bending over. This table isn't the best for doing stenciling. All right. Well, when I'm doing it live, I've got to kind of have this pushed really, really far forward. Okay, we've got to get this offloaded. Can you see me offloading that on the side there? By now you guys know how to offload. And I'm just doing this a bright white, and the words will really stand out. Oops, I can see the edge of my canvas here, so that's not good. I need to move it across a little bit more. So we will go over the top of a snowflake, but that's okay. It'll kind of look like the snowflakes coming out of the word, I think. That would be a good idea. Let's see if it looks good. Okay, just smushing, swirling, now that we've offloaded all our paint. Oop. Might have had a little bit too much on my brush by the looks of it. I can kind of tell, because I've done a lot of stenciling, whether I've got too much on the brush and whether I might get a little bit of a bleed through. And by the way that this whole word is finished with just one load of paint. Gives me a bit of a clue that I may have had a bit too much on my brush. So I'm just going to go over that now and hope that we don't have bleeding underneath the letters. There we go. So I can still kind of see that snowflake peeking through the word. That could look good. All right, let's see how that turned out. Not too bad. Not too bad. So here's the snowflake that I went over. You could also add another snowflake here from this other stencil in the end. All right, so let's see if there's any letters over here that I might need covering. And again, we will go, stand up again, right here. And oh, we could just miss that snowflake there. We might get another snowflake there. Trying to get the C in around about the same spot as that C as far as height goes, and we can shift it slightly there. So one tape over here, one tape down here, And the cardstock right here so that we don't get the other letters, and I think we're good to go. Now, I didn't load my brush anymore, so I've still got all that paint from stenciling the other word. Which goes to show you how much paint I did have on my brush, but also how far it goes. So there's a really traditional colours on this, the red and the green, and we've got the snowy white. I just love the cute tractor. I don't think I've actually used this set before, and this one's from last year, so if you haven't got some of the sets from last year already, if you just type in the word Christmas on Essential Stencil's site, you'll see a whole bunch coming up there from previous years, and there might be one you've missed there that you think you could do with. Don't forget to use my code iRestoreStuff to get your 10% off. Okay, I think we're done. Now, like I said before, you could go over it with a second coat if you feel like that your lettering needs to be a bit brighter or anything like that. But there we go. Isn't that just gorgeous? Country Christmas. I will have to take a picture of that and pop it in the Stencil of the Month Club group, or I'll put it on my page later. Or if you're following me on Instagram, I always love to put that in my stories. And don't forget, we've got some prize winners. So we are going to be looking out for the winners of our live any second now for Essential Stencil to put that up there. And also, don't forget our Stencil of the Month Club. Now, Amanda showcased that this week, earlier in the week. And at the beginning of my live, I showed you the different things in the set, the Stencil of the Month Club set. So here's a tea towel that I just stenciled using one of them that says Baking Spirits Bright. So tea towel, great gift idea for, you know, teacher gift or something. You could even add some cookies, make some gingerbread cookies or some kind of Christmas cookies to go with the tea towel, fold it up, even wrap it in it. Hey, how about that? That's an idea. And you can get 50% off your first month in the Stencil of the Month Club using my code iRestoreStuff. There's that. Okay, have we got some winners yet? Let me see. Want to see the congratulations winners, because sometimes I don't see it right away. Here is the Country Christmas set that I just used. Now this canvas, you can hang that on your wall or put it on a table display, lean it on a mantle. Use any colours that you would like to use. So that's the one that we've done today. And you can see, I'll do some close-up pictures of that in a minute. Yeah, the tractor stencil comes in a lot of different sets actually without the Christmas tree. They've got tractors, actually not the tractors, it might be the truck. I'm thinking of the truck. But yes, that's an interesting idea. Someone just asked, sorry, I forgot to look at whose name that was, if anyone has done the tractor stencil using something different in the back other than a tree, because yeah, definitely you can tape off that tree and use that tractor and then add something else in there, or just leave it plain. Put some hearts in there for Valentine's or something. There's our cute idea, and congratulations winners. Let me see who they are just by clicking my little button here. Our winners today, Larry, Christy, Aguilera, Jean and Jessica. Congratulations to our 3 winners. You are the lucky winners today of some Essential Stencil products, and they'll be sending those out to you, but you need to let them know via that email where they've tagged you where they need to send them to. All right, so that is all from me for today. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm Sharon from the blog iRestoreStuff at iRestoreStuff.com, or you can find me on Instagram, YouTube for all my furniture painting tutorials and stencil tutorials on my YouTube channel. It's just at iRestoreStuff anywhere you are on social media. So thanks so much for watching today, guys, and I will see you for another fun live next week. Bye. And I'll answer all your questions.